There are a few sects of the Apache tribe, one being the Mescalero Apaches, a tribe discussed in Apache legends and lore of southern New Mexico. Their religious creation belief began with every being belonging to a lower world. These beings saw light from above and decided to send up Wind to go see what it was and whether it was nice in the upper world. Wind saw that only water spread across earth, which he used his force to roll and twist into place. After Wind, Raven was sent to search for dry land, but was distracted by the many dead fish to eat, and getting lost in his feast, he never returned. Hummingbird was sent next, who reported back that the entire land was flooded. After a while, dry land appeared. However, the beings in the lower world were not aware yet. They sent Beaver to scope it out, who never returned because he was enjoying himself building dams through the water. Finally, they sent Gray Badger, who faithfully returned and informed the others about the beautiful streams on land. The being of the underworld were trees and other plants and rocks and animals, and they all spoke together and were happy. They crawled up to the upper world, and their leaders became the Sun and Moon. Sun was male and Moon female. These beings wandered around the new land, and the non-human species settled in areas that suited them best. For example, the willow rested on the brook. The people, however, continued to wander until they became sleepy and stopped for a rest. During their rest, they were trapped only to be rescued by the Sun and Moon, who afterwards were known as Killer of Enemies, Sun, and Changing Woman, Moon. These two deities told the Apache people to never stop moving, beginning their nomadic way of life. General religious beliefs. The Apaches are a nomadic tribe that rely on the traditional practices of hunting and gathering for survival. As discussed by Waldman in the Encyclopedia of Native American Tribes, the name Apache comes from the Zuni word Apachu, which means enemy. The Apaches are known for being very strong and fit. In fact, one of the Apache legends says that a warrior can run 100 miles a day or climb a very tall mountain and not be out of breath when complete. Before spreading out, the Apache tribes were found in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, the American Southwest desert regions of the land. Due to the climate, their main source of food was mostly corn, beans, sunflower seeds, and squash. Unfortunately, many Native Americans today count on the U.S. government's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program due to all of the changes made which affect the natural landscape which was essential to their food sources. Since they are nomadic people, they live in brush shelters or wickups, a cone-shaped wooden frame covered with branches, leaves, and grass, as shown in the image at the right. As they are fast to assemble and easy to travel with. In addition to the food they are able to grow, they often ate rabbit, sheep, and goats, some of which they obtained from trading with other Native Americans. Living in the desert gave way to a resourceful tribe. They are able to survive without water when traveling by chewing on a piece of bark or moss, stimulating the flow of saliva. The Apache tribe followed the idea of animism, the idea that the universe and natural objects, animals, plants, rivers, mountains, etc., have souls or spirits. The Gila monster, a species of venomous lizard native to the southwest U.S., shown at the left, is particularly important to the Apache people, as it is a symbol signifying preservation and survival, the breath of which is believed to be capable of killing a man. A central belief in the Apache community is that the women play a central role and serve to be the family leaders. It is believed that women become more powerful when puberty hits, the time at which a special ceremony is performed to prepare the girl for her adult life and motherhood, the sunrise ceremony. One of the ceremonies practiced by the Apaches is the sunrise ceremony. This traditionally was performed after a girl has had her first menstruation or around the time of that, and the purpose of this was to initiate her into womanhood. Now this is performed once a year around the week of the 4th of July, and all the girls who had their first menstruation during that year take part in the ceremony, whereas traditionally it was only one girl at a time. According to Oppler, this ceremony is performed over 4 days, beginning on a Friday night and ending on Monday, yet the preparations can take up to a year to do. The purpose of the ceremony is to ensure the woman will have a prosperous and healthy life through into old age. The family of the girl is very important in this ceremony. They have a responsibility to be able to provide payment to the girl's sponsor, feasts, and gifts to those in attendance. The girl's sponsor, who is an elder in the tribe that will lead her through the ceremony and teach her how to be a virtuous woman, is also chosen by the family. The ceremony itself consists of a massage, many dances, and songs. The massage's purpose is to help the girl become more receptive to the spirit of the changing woman through the physical movement of her body and also the prayers. While the ceremony is going on, there are dancers and singers performing the entire time as well. In the ceremony, the girls wear buckskin dresses that they will only wear during the ceremony, an example of which is on the screen. This garment is used to outwardly show the transformation that the girl is undergoing to become the changing woman, who was discussed earlier in this presentation. The changing woman is highly regarded as the example for what a good Apache woman is, and the entire purpose of the sunrise ceremony is to make the girl into the ideal Apache woman like the changing woman. Mountain Spirit Tradition. Every spring, various Apache tribes perform mountain spirit dances. This is a relatively new tradition which involves 4 main crown dancers and 1 to 4 clown dancers. Crown dancers are performed by men, while the less important clowns are done by boys. Women give support to dancers but do not sing or dance during the ceremony. Crowns and clowns serve as intermediaries and represent the sacred power of the landscape. The mountain spirit dancers perform the dance for various purposes, like blessing, healing, and purifying. The 4 crown dancers are understood to represent sacred mountains in the 4 directions, along with qualities of space and time, which manifest the cycle of birth, growing, maturity, and death that affect all living things on earth. The dancers are also representative of sun, moon, and celestial phenomena that create the times of day, directions, and the 4 seasons. These elements embody the regulation of life, growth, development, and creation. Mountains are especially crucial because they direct air and weather patterns, which affect rainfall, and all life depends on water, especially in the dry conditions of the Southwest. In other words, the mountain spirit tradition is all about life. The tradition originated about 300 years ago. Once, there was a group of Apache in the mountains searching for food when all of a sudden a group of enemies was spotted. The Apache group had 3 disabled members with them. The Apache did not know they would escape the enemies with the injured men, so they left them in a nearby cave in the mountains. After about a day in the cave, a light came into the tunnel along with the spiritual dancers. The dancers told the men not to be afraid, for they were there to help the men. 3 songs were played by the spirits, and each song that was played, one of the injured men were healed. The men went back to the tribe and told the stories of the spirits of the mountains. The tribe did not question the men and were in fact grateful. Thus, the tradition was born.